Hey, Ms. Lady, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm very good. So Ms. Lady told me that I can call her Ms. Lady or Latoya. And I don't know what I'm gonna. Throughout the episode, I might call you one or the other. We're just gonna feel it out. You know, that's how we do it here on the Hair Game Podcast. You're an Atlanta hairdresser, educator, and entrepreneur specializing in natural hair. And you're quite famous for your amazing red locks, earning you some covers on magazines such as Essence, Vibe, and others. Pretty amazing. And as I'm looking at your amazing red locks, I'm looking at a picture of you in the background, which is equally as amazing. I mean, right? Tell us, how do you do it? Like, how do you get your hair so amazing?
Well, I've been growing this hair for like 22 years now. And I've been red for about 10 years. So,
Wow.
conditioning it and loving on it. I don't color my hair very often. So when I'm doing my shows and all that, that's when I'll reprocess it and put more color on it. But it's really just a deposit.
So, listeners, if you haven't seen Miss Lady's locks, her Instagram is Ms. MZ Lady Locks with an X. It's really, really awesome and so just branding, right? I mean, we talk about a lot of business here on the podcast, and what a great example of personal branding that you've done over 20 years. Now, I don't know if have your locks been red for 20 years? You said you've been growing it for 20 years, but the look that you have, and of course you play with the locks, you put them up, sometimes you put them down, you tie them and twist them, etc., into different things. Would you say that you've had that kind of like that look for 20 years?
I've had this look for 20 years, but my color has been about 10 years. But I've
Got it.
always been plain in my hair. I used to be a club girl. So it's like I'm really short too. I'm like 4'11". So
I
when I
can't
was
tell.
younger, I'm sitting. But I had to make my hair really high just for people to notice me and see me. So I would do my hair like real big, extravagant hairstyles just to be seen because I'm so short.
I love it. I love it. Well, I have blue hair. I don't know if you can tell, but I use blue shampoo or blue conditioner pretty often. And it's been like this for probably a year just to try to mitigate the gray because I've gone almost entirely gray, which is a really good canvas for blue shampoo.
Ooh, I like gray. I really
You
do.
like gray?
And I like gray on you. Blue
Thank you.
on you.
Well, what does it look like in the camera? Does it look
In
like
my
blue or
camera, it
gray?
looks gray.
It does?
It's like grayish
Oh, bummer.
silver. But we are kind of pixelated.
All right. Okay. The connection isn't good enough. All right. So enough about my blue hair. So very, very fascinating. Your look, your personal branding, it served you very, very well. And we're going to get there. But let's start with where you're from originally and how you got into this business.
Well, I'm from Hampton, Virginia. I been doing hair far back as I can remember. When I was like a kid, I could think about 4 years old. I was doing playing in hair. Always had love
Sisters?
of hair. Always had a love of hair. But I got a scholarship right out of high school to go to Virginia School Design. And I didn't finish, but I was there almost to the end. And, 10 years later, I went to the first natural hair school in Virginia. And I was one of the first classes that passed. And I ended up being their educator for locks. And from there, I moved to Atlanta. Originally
Hold
not to
on.
do hair, just
Hold on. Hold on. So you went to the first beauty school for natural hair in Virginia. And did you start educating right after you graduated? Or did you go
yes
into
for
salon
locks.
first? Wow.
For locks
So you
because
were
they weren't teaching
that
locks.
good. You were that good that early.
Yes, because I already had locks and I already know how to maintain my own locks. But you had to have a license in Virginia to do natural hair. But they'll tell you, you can get your license in natural hair, but they were not teaching locks still. So I'm still the only person who had education for locks. So I'm teaching other people. And since I already went through school before, I was able to also help with the cosmetology part of the school as well. It's blessings. And then that's how I was able to take
Yeah.
my that was when I also took the education for the for instructor's license. So I went through that part of school as well. Wonderful
Wow.
down there in Virginia. They
Wow.
cultivated me a
Okay.
lot. I had a lot of people in
Yeah.
Virginia that just really kind of believed in me.
I mean, it sounds like they cultivated you and you cultivated them. I mean, it sounds like you brought a lot of experience that they didn't have. So you started educating so early. And how long did you educate at that school?
I only actually educated there for like less than a year, and then I moved to Georgia. And I
Okay.
moved to Georgia,
Why
and
did you
still
move
me
to
not
Georgia?
doing like hair 100% of the time at all. I still was in corporate. I started in corporate, always been in corporate, Bank of America fraud department.
Ah,
Oh, I
you're
skip
the
around.
one.
I skip around. You wouldn't even know that I started. I started actually working with Miss Cleo on the psychic hotline.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a second. Wait a second. No way. Okay, so hold on. This is too good. Okay, so you're educated. You were going to school
I
for
got
natural hair. You were educating natural hair for locks, and you had a job at B of A, helping in the fraud department, which I can only imagine the stories that you have coming from that. You have any you want to give us?
I have talked to many celebrities on these phone calls because what we were doing was actually stopping people's cards at the point of sale. So if their cards don't go through, now you're calling the bank and you're talking to me, and I have the authority to actually make your card work or stop it. I can make it
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah.
So this is before Kevin Hart got real famous. And his
He's a
card was
big name.
blocked.
Okay.
His card was blocked. He called me. He could not verify anything. His verification was off. I could have got in trouble, but I didn't. But I verified him by putting in the notes, I know it's him. I could tell by his voice. That's what I put down. And I was like, you know what? You need to go inside the bank and just get a wealth management. You're too famous now to be contacting me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a regular employee. You need to talk to somebody else. But I got him to that point that I unblocked his card and everything, but he did fail verification. And since I no longer work with them anymore, that's fine because that's a fireable offense. But I unblocked
Right.
his card. And it was so funny because the next stand up he came out, he was talking about how Bank of America stopped his card.
That is
And he was
such a
talking
great
about his
story.
experience.
Kevin Hart is one of the best. I mean, he is so funny. So I imagine that it was not part of your training to verify somebody by their voice.
But his voice is like, if you hear who Kevin Hart, you know his voice.
Sure.
So I was like, okay,
Of course.
verified. I
Of
know
course.
it's you.
And that's something that can't be trained. They can't train that to the other fraud department people. You're like, if Kevin Hart calls, you've seen his stand up. You should know whether it's him or not.
I saw this one person's account. It had $99 million in 4 different accounts. $99 million.
In like
And I saw the note
savings
saying
account?
this person invented the USB or something like that. They invented so the big was like, so they invented something. And I'm like, 99 million.
Jesus.
And then here comes all these leads and stuff. All the big people start coming. How did you get that account? You're not supposed to get that account. Because if I would have said one thing wrong, because we blocked his card. If I would have said one thing wrong, he would have took all of his money out the account.
Oh my God. That
That's a big
is
responsibility.
unbelievable. I mean, I don't even know what to say after that. I maybe it's the notion of $99 million is hard to conceive of, or the fact that, somebody's, I don't know. I guess people with $99 million need credit cards too, but that's wild. So you were like in the high net worth credit card fraud department.
No, I wasn't supposed to get that big high net worth at all. That's
Oh,
why
you
we
weren't?
all came over. Like, what in the world? Because we had a limit on him for only $300 a day.
What? What? Why? How is that? But that doesn't make any sense. I mean,
Or maybe
it
he
does.
put it on himself. Some people do that on their own cards to prevent.
It
from
was
them
probably his
overspending.
wife. His wife was like, he's spending too much. Maybe it was her money. She's
And
like,
I
I'm not
tell
going to let
you-
my.
He can't. Don't spend all my money. But he was probably one of the nicest people I ever talked to, too, though. To
Wow.
have all that money, he was one of the nicest customers I've ever talked to.
That's amazing. Okay, so fascinating, but we are talking about
Blessings.
hair here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got this corporate job, and on the side you're moonlighting doing hair?
It got to that point. I was going through corporate for a minute, but then it's still my passion was still like, you need to do something. You need to do it. You need to go for it. You need to get established, la, 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 la. So I just went through, because if I was going to go down that route, I had to get licensed in the state of Virginia. So I had to actually take the classes. So from there, I went out of my state to different hair shows. That's what started me going to the hair shows and learning so I can bring it back to Virginia. So I did go up to Baltimore's and Natural Hairs community up there that was doing hair shows. They're coming from New York and everything. So I'm just sponging off of all that information, and I bring it back down to Virginia. So by the time I bring it back down to Georgia, I was doing hairstyles that people haven't seen down here in Georgia.
Why did you move to Georgia?
For new opportunity. Virginia is really it's kind of closed. I came from a military background, so we're around all the military bases. So that's the type of structure I was brought up in. My mama was a school teacher, and my daddy was in the military. So we had a very structured life. So I just wanted to branch out and go off. So I went off by myself. Actually, came here by myself to try to do something. I came to Georgia to fulfill my dreams, I guess. I never thought I was going to do hair, though. I thought I was going to be a Bank of America manager. I came down here to actually start to be a manager at Bank of America.
Okay.
Before my hair
you
was
get
red.
there before your hair was red, because nobody appreciates red hair in the Bank of America office. And so you go down there and you have a job with Bank of America, but you also want to do hair. So at what point did you decide to drop the job with Bank of America and do hair full time?
What was happening is that I came down to Georgia, and I took like a $10,000 cut from, because I was also working at Sprint Nextel, yes, retention with Sprint.
What?
And
What? Hold on. How do you have so much time to do all this?
because I wasn't working at Bank of America the entire time. I'm a rehire because I was looking to get out of Georgia. So I
Got it.
no longer, because when I was working at Bank of America, then I start working at the school, and then I was working at Sprint Nextel. And then I came to Atlanta. So when I came to Atlanta, I was hired as a rehire in the fraud department down here.
Gotcha.
So when I came down here, I was living check to check. And I was like, I need to find some more money. I tried to do everything but hair, actually, because it was very competitive down here. So I was trying to do anything but hair. So I was going to Target, I was going to Walmart, and they actually were telling me I'm overqualified. And I was like, I don't have even these skills. So I knew something else was going on. So I said, well, let me go find maybe something I can do with this hair. And one of the best places down here, it was deeply rooted in the Talia Wajid shop. And I contacted Deeply Rooted. And just so happened that she was mentored by the same person that I went up to Baltimore to go to one of her classes. So she actually hired me. And I ended up being like the #1 hairstylist by default, because The whole salon left as soon as I got there, so I ended up getting all their clients.
What?
It was amazing.
Why did that happen? Well, it wasn't because of
Their own
you.
I guess I don't know what happened prior to me getting there, but when I got there, everybody was really at their end and was like leaving. It was a commission salon. So
Oh,
they made a lot of great hairstylists. So a lot of great hairstylists now knew that they can actually go out there on their own. This is before
got it.
suites and stuff. People were really going by just commission salons. So, but that was my best experience because I didn't have a clientele. So I had a very good time at that commission salon, and I got to get my skills up even more, my speed. I would be doing like between 15 to 20 people a day. I got to that point. I did start off that I could only do like 2 people a day. I was really slow. Like doing a lock maintenance would take me about 2.5 hours. And I was able to cut that down. When I got to my maximum speed, I cut it down to 20 minutes for a
oh my
retwist.
gosh.
So I became one of the most popular, one of the popular hairstylists there at that salon, which gained the attention from different companies. Like the number one lock company at that time was Jamaican Mango and Lime. So I got their attention. So that's how I ended up being their platform artist and their model and their brand ambassador. So working with them, I've never done platform before, but they allowed me to be who I wanted, who I saw myself as. When you go to these shows and everything, people are like structured, or they let me go out there with my red hair and everything and do whatever I wanted to do on those stages.
Of course. I mean, that's perfect. I get what you're saying. Of course, a brand likes to create an image and then they want to get representatives of that image exactly. And not everybody fits in maybe, but I mean, you're perfect for it. And they recognize that. And what an amazing experience at the salon that you went to. So fortunate. Blessings. You like blessings, and I like blessings. And I mean, what a great example of a blessing. And okay, so then you're with Jamaica, and aren't you still with Jamaica?
No, I'm not with Jamaican Mango Lime anymore. Actually, it's just
okay.
We're still cool. We're still friends. But from there, I have helped a lot of different lock companies right now and regular companies that are out there, that are real popular. I've kind of got I ain't gonna say my hand in all of them, but I have tried each and one of them, and I have done, things for them, like, shout outs if I gotta, showcase their product, use their product, and, say that this is a good product. I only say it if it is a good product. But some of the major, like some good lock companies I have, actually been with. But I just like really representing myself as well. Mm-hmm. But that's where I'm at right now. It's like my personal self.
Okay, so, but you're an entrepreneur. You have your own product. It's called Ori's, I believe, correct?
Yes, Ori, O-R-I.
O-R-I, Ori. And so I imagine, I mean, what's the purpose behind you starting your own product? There's money, there's investment happening there, there's time, there's distraction. Why did you want to start your own?
I wanted to start my own because after going around and testing a lot of other people's product, I knew what was missing. And I know when I'm using these products every day on my clients, what I don't like about it and what I do like about it. It's a lot of oils out here that's too heavy and it causes buildup. So I try to use the best products that won't leave any type of buildup on any client's hair. So my oils that I created are nice and light on your hair that you can also use on your body. If you can't put it on your body, you shouldn't be putting it on your hair. That's just how I feel. So that's where I came up with my own formulation, and the scents that I chose, which is cocoa mango and peppermint, is it's just satisfying to my spirit and others. A lot of people like my cocoa mango, especially.
I can smell it right now.
Can you? It's like
I love that.
Breeze.
I can. I wish I could. I can maybe.
I'm gonna send you some.
Imagine it.
So you can give your wife some too. Okay.
Oh, she would love that. I'll put some on my desk so I can smell it. Okay, so back to the salon situation. So you're in this salon, and are you still in that salon?
No, actually, from there, when you okay, peace and blessings. I end up leaving because after a couple of years, I did wonderful. That I knew now that I think it was a little comment she made to me, and it was out of love. But she was like, that your commission is paying for the receptionists and the shampoo people. And that's what made me go home and really like calculate how much money I'm making. Because it was a 60
Right.
40 shop. You know what I'm saying? It was a 60-40 shop. And I was really satisfied with my 60% because I'm coming out of Bank of America and I'm not making no money at Bank of America. I'm living
Sure.
check to check. So as long as, because
Yep.
in my head, I'm going to be so honest. Back then, that was like 2009. I know I brought home after taxes and insurance. My check for Bank of America was 779, and that was every 2 weeks. So if I was making more than that, it really, I know I'm winning. That's how I always was
Yeah.
looking. So I was just happy I was doing hair and I wasn't making the same amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Mm-hmm.
happy. I'm doing my dream. So when I actually calculated it, I said, oh wow. Oh wow. Now I got why all the girls left because they were told the same thing.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
knowing, I know that the girls around that same time were told the same thing to go calculate how much money she's making off of us.
Right.
But it still was a great opportunity. It was a great opportunity. So
Yes.
I'm glad I went through it. You have to go through that. And just knowing what your worth is now. So I had to step out on my own. Oh, it was hard. I went from 20 people a day to my first week on my own. I got 5 clients. 5, because it was a commission
Okay.
salon. So I couldn't bring my clients with me. My clients,
Okay.
in the commission
Oh,
salon
this was
is
pre-Instagram. This is
Oh,
pre-Instagram, so
okay, so
they
we can
couldn't
talk
find
about
you.
that too. It's
Yeah.
actually right when Instagram was booming. And what I
Okay.
happened to be doing, because my boss really didn't know about Instagram, and one of my clients told me about Instagram. That's how I got a lot of my followers, is because of I was one of the first hairstylists on Instagram that was doing what people are doing now. And it was not as it's not as what it is now. Everything's so glamorous, but it's like they just wanted content. So back in the day, I was just putting content up there, and that's how I was getting my following. But what I was also doing is telling my clients in the chair, if you follow me, I would give you your style for free. So that's how they end up finding me after I left, because majority of all my clients were basically following me. They just had to find out when they called, and they asked for me. She's here no longer, so now they're going to Instagram and trying to find me. And that's how they found me. Plus, more people found me after that too. So it's just been a wonderful. I actually have been to a lot of salons here in Atlanta, just trying to feel my way out.
How long have you had your own studio?
I've had different studios, but where I'm at right now is my comfort zone, and I've been here for about 3 years now.
That's great.
Yeah, it's like
awesome.
right at
And
COVID.
Okay. Okay.
Right when
You
COVID
guys
started,
were not.
when I started. I'm sorry.
You guys being Atlanta, you were closed for a couple months, right? Something like that.
Yes, and we reopened here in July. So during that time period, I know people had their different hustles. So my hustle was, some of my clients, I just went to their house. They still wanted their hair done.
Yeah.
So I went mobile for a little bit while my suite was getting ready, because this is a brand new community out here. So when we were able to go back to work, I had everything that I was supposed to have, like everything that was supposed to be regulated. So I was together. We all were together. We covered we did our protocols we were supposed to do. But I was also doing house calls beforehand, and we were making sure we were safe and all that stuff too.
That's great. Okay, so tell us how you operate your business in your studio. Do you obviously you have the freedom to run it the way you want to run it. We have about 2,000 beauty professionals in Salon Republic, and people do all sorts of different things. Some people work 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some people work 3 days for 10 hours on those 3 days, and they take 4 days off. Some people work 1 week on, 1 week off. There's a different way to do it for everybody. What is your preferred way to work?
Well, right now, until Oprah comes to get me, or before then. I work, but I actually gave myself a day off, because usually I would do 7 days a week. But I take my Sundays off now, but I'm usually available from 10:15 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And my clients love me, so usually all they have to do is, not gonna say all they have to do is, but majority what they do, I don't see any availability. Can you squeeze me on this day?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. I can't say no. Sometimes they won't get a response till maybe a day later, but that's what happens.
Lady, those are the boundaries. Those are the boundaries that are such a popular topic of conversation these days.
Yeah, they're spoiled.
Yeah.
But everybody they're so beautiful. It's like, how can I say no? And I love what I do so much that what would else I be doing? I'd be at home eating. So I would just rather do hair.
That's amazing. I love that. I mean, blessings right there. Blessings. I'm serious. To love what you do that much is just so amazing. It really is. And I hear that constantly. And it's not just from my guests here on the podcast, those of you who've been very successful in the industry and are leaders, etc. But it's a lot of hairdressers, just normal hairdressers just love what they do so much.
It's every day. I just know I'm going to learn something from somebody, especially through our conversations. So it's just like, it's more than hair. It's the communications I have with my clients. I like to stay up on them to see the changes in their lives for the better. Everybody gets better. So I go with them and I call doing locs, because that's all I do. I do locs only. So it's like, what we call with locs is a journey. You're going through a journey because, when they're really small, people don't feel good. Sometimes some people cut all their hair off from long just to start these locks, and it could be it can make them feel some type of way. Now they think that people are staring at them. They don't feel really pretty. So it's my responsibility I think it's part of my responsibility to make them feel good during this journey. So I want to make sure they're always feeling good. So when they come into my space, the first thing I ask them is, what are we getting prepared for? Is it your birthday? Where are we going? Where are we going this weekend? I said, what do you got planned for the weekend? So when I'm asking them that's telling me what type of hairstyle I have to do to get them prepared for wherever they're trying to do. Sometimes I have to say, what you wearing? I got to see it. And then I can visualize it, because one thing about my hairstyles is they're not the same. And there's no way that I can really duplicate anyone's hairstyles. So I'm really a creative. So that's what they come to me for. If people come to me, they know I'm going to be creative with their hairstyle. And they know they're about to go. Majority of times, they're going somewhere. So I'm here to bring out whatever beauty that needs to be done. So so I make sure. See my shampoo bowl? The feet go up. So they have to sit there. I make sure I'm quiet. I ask them, I'm asking first where you got to go and all that. Are you watching anything on television? Because I have a TV right here. So I'm going to get them prepared while I'm getting their hair done. I'm also making sure I'm turning the TV at the same time to make sure I'm already got them queued up by the time that they get up. See, this is their experience. Whatever they did out there, they had to hustle bustle. You come here, it's like woosah. I only do one person at a time. I try not to have a lot of people in here, more than one person, so they can have their own individual time. If they have to come in here just to work or just to relax. If you just want me to be quiet, we'll be quiet. If you want to get something off your chest, I'm your counselor. That's what we do, right? but I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's not just hair. And you kind of walk down that road for a minute there, and it's one of the fascinating things for me. I'm 23 years in the industry now, and I'm so fascinated by all the different components of what a hairdresser does. It's not just the hair. There's so much humanity and interaction and engagement that you have with somebody emotionally and psychologically. And I've had some conversations with hairdressers about the amount of emotional baggage that they sometimes have hoisted upon them, and sometimes they feel at the end of the day, they feel drained because they had a couple difficult conversations and stuff like that. There's also, of course, positive conversations, and sounds like you have a lot of those. What would you say is the most difficult conversation you've ever had with a client in the chair?
Okay, I came out of one of the reasons I grow my locks is because I was in a domestic violence situation. My child's father, he used to abuse me, but when I came
Oh, I'm
out
so
of it,
sorry.
this is a glorious story. This is a glorious story. When I came out of it, because I had a relaxer, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I chose to, I call myself, set myself free. And I started my locks when I left him. You know what I'm saying? So my locks actually represents my
Oh,
strength and how long I've been away from him, which when I counted,
wow.
it's 22 years that I have been free, and
Good for you.
nobody has ever treated me the same ever again because I love myself. So,
Good for
and
you.
what I went through, I needed to go, I feel like my experience can help others. So, what I've experienced, I had a young lady who came into my salon, and she just, her boyfriend just hit her over the head with a gun, like pistol whip her.
Oh,
So she came to me right after it happened and just start crying. What am I supposed to do now? Oh, you're not getting your hair done right now, baby. I'm not going to do your hair, but we are going to go down here to this police station right now. That's what we are going to do. You know what I'm saying?
that's
That's what
right.
we are going to
Mm,
do. And to just like
yeah.
tell her, like, no, this is, you know what I'm saying, just talking to her and having that conversation, because she was that old me that's giving him like, this was he just acted like this one time, or he no, it escalates. You know what I'm saying? So me having that conversation with her heart to heart and then going down there with her is what needed to be done. And then he's like, that was me outside. I didn't take her money. She just happened to be like my last client to that day. So I'm just like, no, we're
Mm,
not going to do your hair right now. We're going to get up and we're going to go down here to this police department. That's what we're going to do.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it was a difficult, it was difficult for me, but I know it was satisfying to me that she took my advice and we did what we needed to do. And just knowing that she still is my client and seeing where she is now, that is the blessing. I didn't need her money that right then,
Mm. You
but seeing
used
her
your
now, she's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. You used your negative experience to be very positive for somebody else, and that is a blessing for yourself and her and others, because she might
Yes.
do the same for somebody else.
Yes. I attract those
Mm-hmm.
type of clients for some reason, but I'm here to help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to
Mm-hmm.
help.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
That was heavy,
So
but it's
you,
also good because she's in a good place right now.
of course, that's the redemption element of life when you make good decisions, right? We get redeemed and we turn bad to good. So you just got back from Premiere Orlando, right?
Ooh, yeah. Were you
Tell
there?
us how was it? I was not there. I've been to Premiere. Well, we now have a Premiere on the West Coast. I don't know if you know, but way over here on the West Coast, we used to have a thing called ISSE, and Premiere has taken over ISSE, and now it's Premiere Anaheim, which is in Orange County between San Diego and Los Angeles. So it was kind of cursory show that was put together, I sense, a little bit last minute. So that's kind of our new thing. You guys have the premiere, in my experience. It's the big one. And I've been there. It's amazing. I did not go this year, but you were there. What were you educating for?
The artistry of locks. I was in Anaheim as well. Teaching the same
Oh, you
class.
were?
Yes, I was.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I love Premiere. So
Yeah.
I've been teaching with them for a couple of years now. So my Art of Locks class went amazing. And just to hear the feedback that I was getting from the stylists, I'm glad that they were able to take in some of my art and some things, the way that I twist is not like other hairstylists at all. So what they're getting from me is something organic all day. Because I don't post my techniques online at all. So the only way that you can see how I twist or how I do my art, you will have to be, and you will have to witness me in person. You can't just get that on Instagram. That's the surprise. But Premiere was amazing, just to see all the educators. So many talented people. I love Premiere because that's like all the hairstylists come together, and you know that we are nothing but creators. You know what I'm saying? To see all of these creatives, I love just looking at the people. I like looking at other hairstylists and we just bigging up each other because we're all just eclectic and we're just dope. We're just amazing. So many different people and style. It's just, I love it. I love everything about Premiere. I wasn't even able to walk the whole floor, and I was there all 3 days. And I wasn't able still to walk the entire floor. It is big. The Orlando Premiere is a monster big. You got to get it. Like, it was even written out, the little rascals. I'm going to get a rascal next time.
It's a monster show. I think I was there in 2019, maybe, right before they all shut down from COVID. And it was a monster show. I interviewed a lot of people for the podcast. I was on the gold carpet at the, what was there? There was a competition. Was there a hair competition this past weekend at Orlando?
Yes, they have I saw the hair they have the whole competition area, but I wasn't over there. But I saw the whole competition area.
I forgot what the name of the competition was. It was like a show, you sit in the chairs and there's people on stage and stuff. And I loved it, but I didn't make it this time. Okay, so when you do when you do a class, you charge for the class, I'm assuming.
Well, my information I give is actually free when they come to Premiere. When I do one-on-one classes and stuff, that's when I charge. I hear you. I know that's probably something I need to do in the future. I did have a paid-for workshop before with Premiere. I just haven't done that this go-round. The last time, before COVID, that's when I did a workshop. But that's what I'm going to look into next, actually.
So do you sell your product there?
No. I need to do that, too. And I came to conclusion of things I'm going to do. This show right here, I have a lot to, I have a lot that I'm working on for my next show. Because I'm seeing the potential of what I need to do. Just going here, just educating is not enough. I had my first sponsor, who sponsored Miss Lady Locks, and that was amazing. And, that was a hair company, came in and gave all of my students, some free gifts. So having
what's the name of that company?
That was Supreme Hair. Supreme Hair came in with, even though they're doing braiding hair, I don't braid hair, but I can bring the people for the braiding hair. Okay. They said they really liked me, and that was my first time. They said they liked my energy and all that. That was amazing. I wasn't even looking for it. I wanted it. I always say I want a sponsor. And then when they come in and they actually are videotaping me saying they like, it was amazing. I thought I was in a dream. Yeah. So thank you to Premiere. Yeah. See, certain things like that, you can't buy, you can't prepare for, so it's like, I know I'm doing this for really no charge, but something's got to come out of it. And I know, something's going to come out of it always. It always happens that way for me.
And look, I think when you give, oftentimes you receive, and you don't receive immediately, and sometimes, and in certain cases you shouldn't expect to receive when you give. This is often a theme on the podcast to, give freely, contribute to the community or whatever, in whatever way you can. It seems like that's what you're doing, which is amazing. And I'm sure that the students got a lot from that. And, you do things like that, and you will get something in return at a certain point. Hopefully where do you sell your product? Online?
I have a lot to work on. Yes, I actually right
Okay.
now I sell it to my clients. That's why I don't have any right
Okay.
here.
Well, that's
And
good.
that's one of the things I'm really working on transparently. I have hair
Okay.
products, but I have I told you I used to work in the fraud department. I didn't work in sales. And you know what I'm saying? I was working in retention at the when I was working with Sprint, I was working in retention. I know how to retain customers. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you
But
go.
me selling to anyone is not my thing. I can show you how a
I don't think
product
you.
work, but me selling. So my clients actually are asking me, "Hey, Toya, where's your oils?" It's them
That's right.
saying, "Where's my oils?" It is not me. Hey, you need to
Ye-
take this oil with you.
Right. You don't need to try to sell. You just are who you are, and people are going to want more of it. You're oozing, goodness and blessings, and I want to be a part of it. Like, I can feel myself wanting to be a part of it, and others are going to feel the same way. And but you don't call that sales. It just is.
Okay.
And so people are going to want more Ms. Lady Locks. So, give it to them. It sounds like you're heading in that direction. So that's really, really good.
Oh, this journey is amazing. This hair journey of being a hairstylist is amazing. I wouldn't change anything, just to have that love in your heart since a kid. I was cutting
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking I remember cutting my cousin's hair at 10. My cousin was like a 40-year-old woman and she wanted me to cut her hair in a bob. And I really was going cutting.
Mm-hmm.
I really was cutting. And I cut her hair in a bob at 10. It was like this. It was asymmetrical.
It was we call that asymmetry.
It was
That's right. We
asymmetrical.
call that creative shape.
I was cutting people's hair. I was cutting people's bangs in middle school. On our breaks, we'd go in the bathroom and I cut their hair. And then their parents would call later.
I love it. That's funny. So what is the best advice that you have for young hairdressers who want to focus on natural hair?
I would say take all the classes that you can. Don't go to YouTube University. Actually go to a actual class and sit down, and actually play with the hair. Don't give up on yourself. If something doesn't look right, just keep on perfecting it, because perfection or your groove is actually with repetition. So just continue to keep on doing it. If you don't see the results that you think, just keep on working on it. Don't give up on yourself ever. You are the best you that
Practice
you can
makes
ever
perfect.
be. Practice makes perfect always. And you don't have to go into it like you know everything. It's actually, if you go into this game listening and learning from everyone, you can create your own style. Take a little bit from here.
Humility.
The things I've learned out here, I won't take everything from them. I may have learned just one little and I'll take that and make that mine, and I'll add something else to it. So that makes me different than everyone else. And I'm here to share what makes me different. I said, I can't do this forever. That's from my last class. I can't do this forever. So there's other people who are out there like that too, that just want to share their knowledge with you, the things that they learned. So I just say, take from everyone and make your own, and you don't ever give up on yourself, and trust yourself.
I love it. If you could wave a wand and do anything, change anything about the industry at all, what would it be?
Okay, I've got a backstory. I am so Rasta. Like, I love everybody. So it's just like, I wish it was called one hair, one love. We all have hair. I just wish it wasn't like there's so many diversities in hair, but we have hair. That's it. There's no Caucasian hair. There's no African American hair. There is no other, there's no Asian hair. It's hair, straight, wavy, and curly. And I really believe, like, that's why I really love, like, Premiere. For an example, like those type of environments where everybody is there. Because I also go to, other shows too, but it's like so cut. It's so cut. Like, why can't we just all come together? I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So I wish it was one hair,
Yeah.
one love.
One team, right?
Come
I
on,
love it.
hair.
Yeah.
I learned so much just in these other classes. I took some classes where I was the only African American person in there, but I used their product on my clients and it worked. And it worked really well. And I'm talking about it worked. Oh my goodness. That I did one of my clients and she turned her hair. She said, "Oh my gosh, my hair is full." And I told that company and they just brushed me off. And I'm like, okay. I just wish we could all just like, hey, you probably have a wider audience if you would cross.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of products that work good on this side, that works good on that side, that works good on this side.
Yeah. Yeah. One team.
For that. Come on, one hair.
Do you have any? Yeah. Do you have any hair horror stories? Something had to have gone horribly wrong at some point. We want to hear it.
You want to hear my horror story?
Oh, yeah. We want to hear your horror story, or you can tell us a story of something that you saw another hairdresser doing in a salon at a certain point, or on stage or something at a certain point. You can tell us that too. And of course, the goal is to learn from it.
When I first started doing locks and color, I did a strand test on someone. She wanted her hair pink, and she had black color on her hair. So I knew I had to lift it up. So the first thing I was thinking of, this is really immaturely thinking, and I learned a great lesson from this. It was only one lock, but I lifted her hair with a 50 volume with lightener. And when I said that her lock at the root part, the shaft part of the lock, it turned to like spaghetti. And it's just, what am I supposed to do now? And I didn't want her to see it, so I just put a tie in it real quick. She wanted pink, so I put pink on top of it. But that also was my first lock reattachment. Because you can reattach locks. You can
Extensions.
reattach locks. Yeah. All you have to do is use this beautiful little tool. All you have to do is use this little tool right here, and you can just put it right there.
This lady is showing us the little tool.
Yes.
It's like a pick.
Like a little crochet needle.
Right.
Yeah.
Dual.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
that's
God,
what I
that's
ended
funny.
up doing. So that
All
was my big lesson. Don't use 50 on locks. And if you mess the hair up, if you miss the lock up, you can put it back on. That was a long time ago,
so
too.
funny.
And I've never made that mistake again.
Not since then. Of course not. That was like 50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Any last words for the community?
Any last words?
Yes. Any last words for the
For
community?
the whole community of hairdressers. Just when I see you, just smile and I'm going to smile back now. But I just wanted to work actually with everyone. I want everybody to know that locks are actually, we are professional too. We have lots of knowledge that we can also bring to the community. We are a group of locticians that are licensed, and we can do everything to locks as well. So just embrace us beautiful locticians into the community. Don't forget about us. I don't see us represented a lot in the community at all. So I'll just like to see more.
That's
of
fair.
us.
Yeah. That's fair. I don't think any listeners here on the podcast are going to forget you. You're a gem, and then thank you for sharing everything today. And it's just it's awesome. And I hope to see you. I mean, if you do premiere Anaheim next year, I'm sure I'll be there. Hopefully, I can do premiere Orlando,
Austin?
but Anaheim's going to be sooner. Austin, I don't know.
Austin is
Maybe is next what?
Austin is next in October. Austin and Columbus.
Okay, I don't know. They book me. Them. This group of faceless people behind me. They book me and they tell me what to do. So I don't know what they're going to tell me to do next. But if I'm there, I hope to see you.
Okay, and I can't wait to have me a team of people that can say, "You go here." That's my goal.
No, it's horrible. No,
can I
you don't want
experience
anyone
it, though?
telling you what to do. You don't want anyone
want to-
telling you what to do. You're going to call your own shots.
Okay.
Thank you,
But
lady.
I thank you so much. This was a wonderful opportunity. This was like one of my first podcasts, and I had this is like a great experience. Just
Good.
talking about myself. How vain is that? This is awesome.
I know, and people learn. People learn, and you bless them with all of your experience and, wisdom. That's how it works.
Okay.
All right.
So hope to see you
Thank you,
again.
lady.